Welcome back to Round Camera Square Photo. My name is John. Today we're going to be talking about the Sony 55-210 soda can telephoto lens. We're going to talk about whether or not you should buy it and whether or not this should be in your camera bag. If you're looking for the quickie review, the answer is yes. And most of you, if you already own a Sony APS-C camera, might actually already own this lens, as you can typically buy it as a bundle with a Sony a6000 or some of the other Sony cameras. I call it almost like a telephoto kit lens because it comes with a lot of cameras in a bundle. However, it's not like your standard kit lens. It's not going to be a really wide to a, more of a portrait style kit lens like the default 16-55. This is starting at 55 millimeters, so you're getting about an 85 millimeter equivalent at the short range, and at the long range you're getting 210, which is equivalent to about 315, give or take. At first, it might not seem like a lot, but on a crop sensor, 315 millimeters, that's some reach. That's some reach. There is a lot of good things that this lens does. There's some bad things the lens does. So we're gonna go over all the technical specifications, and we're gonna show you some sample photos that I've shot with it, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it. So like I said, this lens is a 55 millimeter to 210 millimeter. It has a variable f-stop. This is very important. This is not gonna be your f2.8 constant. This isn't the constant f4. This is a variable f-stop starting at 4.5 and ending at 6.3. So, as you zoom in, you are gonna lose stops of light. And I mean, for most telephoto lenses, that's the case, unless you're buying extremely expensive, say like an f4 aperture or the really omega expensive f2.8s you might find on full frame cameras. If you're shooting outdoors, this shouldn't be a big issue, but just know that you do lose bokeh. You're not getting that creamy bokeh, except on the telephoto end because of the compression you're gonna get from being all the way out at, like, say, 210. This is not internally zooming, this is an external zoom, so as you turn it, it does extend. So that is something to consider if you're shooting on, say, like a gimbal or things like that. Why would you shoot with a telephoto on a gimbal? I don't know, but that is something I like to point out because some lenses do internal zooming now, which is cool. But yeah, this lens extends. I call it the soda can because it's practically the size of a soda can. It feels like a soda can in the hand. The other thing to note about this camera lens is it has a 1 meter / 3.29 foot distance for focusing, your minimum focusing distance. That's something to think about. Like you're gonna, granted, the minimum you're shooting this on is an 85, so you're already gonna want to be a little bit away, but you're not getting macro photography with this telephoto lens. You have to be about a meter or 3.5 feet away for this to grab focus. Let's talk about the focus for a second. The autofocus on this lens is hit or miss, and the lens as a whole could kind of be summed up as a little bit hit or miss. It depends on your circumstance. To start with, the lens itself can give you really, really sharp results. I have done almost all of my sports photography, minus anything from basketball. All my outdoor football shots were all shot on this. And people don't believe me when I tell them that. I have shot some more artsy, landscapey stuff with this lens and gotten some good results. The lens is, like I said, it's very hit or miss. There are plenty of shots I have taken on the a6000 with this camera lens that have turned out blurry, that have missed focus. Some of that's to the camera body. The a6000 doesn't have as good of an autofocus setup. It is fairly consistent being able to grab focus. The question is whether or not it can hold it, whether or not the tracking holds up. And sometimes you don't get great results, but this is the lens that I typically throw as like the mystery box lens in my kit. When I use it, it's sometimes you miss shots, and maybe photographers who are better than me don't miss shots on this lens, but I do. I sometimes will take shots with this, look, peek into the camera viewfinder, and they're blurry, they're messed up, and some of that's user error, but other times it's just the lens just kind of, a shot that should have been sharp isn't, or looks sharp in the back of the camera, and then you go zoom in and there's a problem with it. There are a lot of good things about it. Let me return quickly to the specs because I forgot. This has optical steady shot. Now, I don't know if that contributes to some of the sharpness errors, it's trying to overcompensate or whatever, but it does have optical steady shot. I have not particularly used it, like for video, because I don't shoot video on a telephoto. However, it does have that. It is good when you're shooting at the 310 focal length, because you're all the way out there. Every camera shake matters, and so it's going to reduce your camera shake in your photos. It's always obviously going to reduce your camera shake in your videos, but primarily where people are going to be using this for shooting sports or shooting, maybe birds or wildlife, it's going to help you reduce your camera shake. Like I said, this is very mystery boxy. Like, sometimes you'll take photos and they blow your mind with how sharp and clear they are. Other times, not so much. Corners on this lens aren't great. There is barrel distortion in this lens that is easily correctable in camera or correctable in Lightroom. But the thing about it is, what really impressed me was when I came on the scene for doing football photography for my university, we didn't have any other camera, so I used my gear. And people kind of looked at my silly soda can lens and kind of didn't mock it, but they didn't think I don't think they believed I would get anything good. Neither did I. I thought, this is not going to be that great of a lens. I'm not going to get that great of shots with it. We're going to try it. But, I focused mainly, my first time out, I focused mainly on the crowd because I wasn't confident in this lens. My second football game, I start taking pictures of the football players out on the field, and this thing's reaching halfway across the field, getting beautiful shots. Out in the daytime, cloudy, it doesn't matter. It's getting the shots. And as I'm talking about this, I'm hopefully throwing up images that help show that a little bit better. And I think that the key thing about it, what blows my mind, is how cheap it is. I mean, if you buy it with the camera, typically what I understand is it works down to be like $150 extra sometimes. That's what I've heard. I'll throw up a product page here to kind of help show. But I know new, if you buy this lens new, it is $348. You can buy it used. I bought mine used on an absolute steal of $150. If you can get this lens for $150 used after you've bought your camera and didn't buy it in a bundle, that's a steal. You're buying it for half off practically. You can buy it used from places. People typically will sometimes not have a use for this lens, and then they'll sell it if they buy it in the bundle with the A6000 or 6100. If you are looking to do any sort of sports, wildlife, or anything you need the reach, this is a good entry point. This works just fine. Like I said, sometimes you won't hit as many focusing points as say these higher end cameras that have better autofocus motors. Now, I have disclaimer, I haven't tested this necessarily on the A6400 with all the new autofocusing technology on that camera. So that will probably happen in the fall. Hopefully if COVID-19 settles down, if everything settles down and we get to go back to university and play football again, I will test this on the A6400 and see whether or not the autofocusing issues kind of clear up. It might be a body issue. That's very possible. But for the price, this lens is incredible. I mean, if you haven't picked one of these up, I recommend picking one up and finding an excuse to shoot with it. Now, obviously, if you don't got kids that play sports, if you don't like taking pictures of wildlife, you're not into that, you don't really need that extra reach, then obviously this is a lens that you don't need to get. This is something that, might sit in your camera bag forever because you're always using your kit lens because that's what you shoot. But for somebody, I like to take the occasional picture of, say, even the moon, and this lens does incredible with that. I never thought I'd get a picture like this. I never did, ever. That looks good. I think it looks good. I just took that picture a couple days ago, and I was floored with how nice it looks. And a lot of my friends are like, wow, like, how'd you get that? Like, do you hook up a telephoto or telescope to your camera? I'm like, no, it's the soda can. Soda can does wonders. I think if you like taking pictures of things far away, buy this, try this. If you really like this, then maybe if you need extra reach, there's the 75 to 350. Like I said, every review I've seen of that is fantastic, and we will be getting one of those in hopefully soon, hopefully within the next month. We'll do a review of that because I want to see how much better that is compared to this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you really like this camera lens. Maybe you hate this camera lens. I've seen such mixed reviews on this lens. I mean, there are people that absolutely, I mean, obviously on Amazon it has like a 4.5 star review, like people love it on there, but on like camera forums and on Reddit, people are kind of all over the place. There are people that pull off amazing photos with it, some people that don't. So let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if you're thinking about picking one up. If you liked the video, hit like. If you didn't like the video, there's another button there too. If you would like to subscribe, I have some really cool videos coming out hopefully soon involving the new 16 to 55 f2.8 that I just picked up, and about the Sony a6400 review that I've been pushing off every single video. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.